Oh, gerrymandering gets crazy because I'm from North Carolina, and the gerrymandering we had up until a few years ago was like the stuff of legend. Every time someone wrote a story on really bad gerrymandering, at least 3 of the districts they used were from North Carolina, and there was this one that was specifically this crinkly little thing that basically followed I-85 that was drawn solely so that Mel Watt could be elected to the House. And so the Republicans, that was drawn by Democrats. Republicans get into the House and they redraw the districts. Yeah, they're gerrymandered. They're not as ridiculous as they were, but they're still kind of gerrymandered. So when the Democrats complain about the gerrymandering, and you kind of think, well, okay, they're complaining about the actual gerrymandering they were doing. No, they were talking about things like getting rid of that crazy I-85 district, because getting rid of that meant that, you didn't have as many. It was a racial gerrymandering. It was drawn specifically, for Mel Watt, who was black. And so, they got rid of that because you're not allowed to do racial gerrymandering. Well, they're saying that getting rid of that and not basing it on the race is racial gerrymandering. They're just trying to do the opposite. I mean, they have to do that, though, because when you're in federal court, really about the only thing you can complain about with the district drawing is the racial gerrymandering. Partisan gerrymandering, the federal courts don't have jurisdiction over that. That's the state courts that's supposed to do that. Rainbow Asteroid says math should be the one to write districts, not representative of the bipartisan committees. There's a website where you can do that. I'd have to find it again, but I was playing around with it with the North Carolina districts. And you can just have it write these nice little almost circular districts, or you can do things, and there are very good reasons to respect the county borders when you're doing this. So you can say, okay, keep county borders as much as you can, but draw the districts. And it draws very different districts than either party of the legislature has.
Well, I mean, and you brought this up earlier about gerrymandering. Some of those shapes that gerrymandering is just ridiculous. Like, I mean, there's that one district, I can't remember where it is, but it's like there's 2 really large bodies, and then they're connected by this one teeny tiny little sliver.
Oh, yep, they've done that.
Yep.
Because they have to be contiguous, but they'll send like this really thin thing out, or
yeah.
They'll just have things that come to a corner and then back out.
Yeah. And it's so funny because it's like some of the areas that are connecting them, they're like, oh yeah, this is continuous. We have to make sure, this is there when, and hardly anyone lives there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think my biggest issue with all of this is I feel like gerrymandering wouldn't even be as big of a problem if we had like the way the founders used to do it, the way America used to do it in the beginning, which was they didn't have like districts, right? They had like, what was it like? It was like proportional.
It was all at large.
They had states.
It was all at large.
It was all at large, which I mean, probably had its problems, but I assume would be significantly better than what we do now, which is just so prone to gerrymandering and all these other issues.
Yeah, people would vote, and then like the first, and however many districts it was, like North Carolina has 13 congressional districts. It wouldn't have been 13 at the time, but anyway, you would just write down, you would vote for the candidates, and then the top 13 vote getters would get in. I think this is at districter.org. No E, it's districtr.org. Let me see if this is the one.
Speaking about, gerrymandering and moving and all that, here's some advice for people who are fleeing California. Stop bringing your Californian ideas to other states.
Yeah, you're leaving it for a reason. There's also districtbuilder.org is another.
See, the interesting thing, Darth, is actually like if you look at the people that leave California and go to like these states, I was actually looking at, of course, exit polling is unreliable and stuff, but like I was looking, for example, at the 2018 like Texas Senate race or whatever. Just giving an example, if people that were born in Texas, if only people that were born and lived in Texas had voted, they would have replaced Ted Cruz with his Democratic opponent. But among the people that moved to Texas, it was something like a double-digit margin for Ted Cruz, the Republican, right? So it's not like I don't even think it's like necessarily that like these people are just progressives who like, oh, they hate California, but like, I'm still going to be progressive. I think those people are staying in California. I think it's more the like conservative right-wing expats who like can't stand the state and they want to move to a more conservative state. At least that's what I've observed, at least.